Welcome back to The Explainer. Today, we're diving straight into a highly relatable, honestly kind of stressful topic that almost everyone has dealt with at some point, even if they absolutely refuse to admit it. We are talking about that creeping anxiety of feeling slower to understand things than your peers at work. You know the exact feeling I'm talking about, right? When instructions are handed out and everyone else just seems to nod along, instantly grasping the whole shebang, while you're sitting there internally scrambling to catch up. It's a fascinating dynamic, and the source material we're unpacking today offers a truly paradigm-shifting perspective on how to handle it.
Consider this incredible, raw confession straight from our source material. The questioner literally admitted, "I record instructions daily, trying to keep up with their speed." Just pause and empathize with that for a second. Imagine the sheer mental load of secretly voice recording meetings every single day, taking them home and re-listening to them just to survive the next morning at the office. They're doing this out of a desperate attempt to match the comprehension speed of their coworkers. It's an unbelievably heavy burden, and it perfectly sets the stage for the deeply personal struggle we're looking at today.
All right, let's get into Section 1, Workplace Inferiority Complex, specifically the pain of comparison.
So, the core issue here is that intense pain of comparison. The individual in our source literally describes feeling pathetic. And honestly, we've all done that panicked smile and nod in a meeting while internally screaming, right? They're watching others grasp complex tasks instantly knowing exactly how to react, while they feel like they're lagging a mile behind. It creates this deep, lingering sense of jealousy and inadequacy. They're carrying around this heavy question. Is there something wrong with me? Is there some unresolved issue causing me to be this slow? It is just an agonizing way to spend your 40-hour workweek.
So naturally, what's our human response to this feeling of falling behind? We try harder, right? We double down. But here is the million-dollar question, and it's a bit of a pattern interrupt. Will trying harder actually make you understand faster? Logically, we assume more effort equals better results. But the response in our source material gives a highly counterintuitive answer. It points out that the questioner's own statement, saying, "I want to do this, but I'm like this, so I'm trying to do that," is actually the exact root of the problem.
That brings us to Section 2, the trap of effort and how forcing the outcome backfires.
Here is where we hit what's called the effort trap. The advice given is completely surprising. Do not try. Seriously, stop making the extra effort. Why? Because the very act of trying too hard to catch up is exactly what traps you. When you force a specific outcome, like forcing your brain to comprehend something faster than its natural, comfortable pace, you end up confining yourself. You build this rigid box of expectations around yourself, and that rigidity chokes your natural flow. Basically, your forced effort is literally holding you hostage.
Think about the contrast here. On one side, we have the worker's method, forcing understanding, and feeling completely trapped when it doesn't instantly click. It's agonizing. But on the other side, we have the master's advice, accepting your current state and simply letting things flow. It's about letting the situation unfold naturally. The source argues that every situation is meant to change and adapt naturally. But when you obsessively try to mold yourself into a fast learner on the spot, you freeze up, you become completely rigid.
The ultimate practical application of this philosophy is wonderfully simple. If you understand less, just proceed with what you have. In a moment of confusion, forcing extra effort isn't going to magically download comprehension into your brain like a computer update. If you don't get it, trying harder in that exact split second won't make you get it. It only breeds awkwardness and deep discomfort. So if you only understand 50% of the instructions, just start working with that 50%.
Moving right along to Section 3, the law of natural flow, and the idea that the environment naturally matches you.
The source draws a really crucial distinction between preparation and execution. Step 1 is daily preparation. Studying, practicing, improving your foundation, that all happens on your own time. But Step 2, workplace execution, is a totally different beast. When you're on the clock, in the field, you must simply act on your current ability. You use the tools you actually have in your toolbox right now. And Step 3 is natural flow. Do not try to forge new tools out of thin air while you're on the spot. You execute naturally with what you already possess.
And this builds into a really reassuring principle. The source points out that your workplace environment operates on a system of matching. You aren't going to be asked to build a rocket ship on your first day, right? If you've been there for 2 years, you get 2 years worth of challenges. The environment naturally calibrates to your level of experience. You absolutely aren't going to be tested on advanced mechanics on day 1.
So, if the environment naturally matches our level, where exactly does all our anxiety come from? Well, twisting the flow creates the mismatch. The anxiety doesn't actually come from the work itself. It comes from you artificially twisting your natural pace to meet some invisible, impossible standard. You are the one creating the friction. By trying to act like a 10-year veteran when you only have 2 years of experience, you twist the natural order, and that creates an agonizing mismatch that makes you feel totally incompetent.
Let's bring this all together in Section 4, Trusting Your Own Pace, with some actionable takeaways.
So when you're sitting there feeling behind in a meeting, what do you actually do? First, let go of the pressure. Just stop obsessing. Second, act comfortably as situations arise. Actually, scratch that. Just do what you can naturally and without force. Third, embrace mistakes. Don't hide from them. And finally, trust your foundation. Trust the hard work you've already put in off the clock. This is the real, actionable advice for finding peace in a fast-paced environment.
Now, I know exactly what you're thinking, but what if I mess up? What if I ruin everything? We all carry the fear, the dread of catastrophic failure. This idea that if we don't understand perfectly, it's game over. But there is a wonderfully calming reality here. Mistakes are designed for learning, not destruction. The environment basically ensures that even if you make a mistake, the fallout won't be beyond what you can handle or learn from. You won't face a disaster that completely destroys you. You'll only face a situation perfectly designed to teach you something new.
Furthermore, your past study automatically creates your safety net. Because you've been studying, observing, and putting in the work all along, you've actually developed an automatic sense of caution. You don't need to pile obsessive, forced anxiety on top of yourself every single day. Your brain is already calibrated to be careful, based on your past experiences. Your foundation naturally protects you from making those fatal errors.
Which leads us to this incredibly empowering takeaway. Don't be trapped by compulsion, act comfortably. Seriously, stop being a prisoner to the compulsion to be perfect or to be the absolute fastest person in the room. If you're a bit slower, own it. Pour out whatever understanding you do have. Do your absolute best in the present moment. And just stop overthinking it. Let your natural abilities shine without that dark cloud of self-imposed pressure.
I want to leave you with a final, slightly provocative thought to chew on. Think about your own habits at work. What if the fastest way to actually learn, to truly comprehend your work, is to simply stop trying so hard? What if dropping the anxiety and embracing your own natural flow is the real secret to keeping up? It's a massive paradigm shift, but one that might just transform the way you experience your entire workday. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and I highly encourage you today to take a deep breath, trust your pace, and see what happens when you just let things flow.